Live from San Diego, this is the Fox 5 Morning News at 9.
And good morning to you. In today's Mommy Daddy Handbook, we are talking about the baby blues, and it's not just for the mommies. Abby Bird from the Postpartum Health Alliance is here with how to help dads suffering from postpartum depression. Abby, good morning, and thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
When you first told me about this, I said the dads don't get pregnant, their bodies don't change, nothing's happening with their hormones. How the heck are they getting postpartum depression?
Well, you want to know the funny thing is that dad's hormones actually are changing. So studies say that their estrogen rises, their testosterone goes down, and then cortisol, which I call the stress hormone, actually goes up. So cortisol is, if you think about it, that's what makes us wake up in the middle of the night when we hear the baby cry, or moms that lift up a car that's crushing their kid, and so it's like that big adrenaline push, and so it kind of puts us on edge and makes us anxious, and dads actually have that too. I kind of think about it like evolution, so their hormones are shifting towards the end of pregnancy and after baby comes to kind of have them stay close to the nest because they want to protect their offspring.
How interesting. Without even growing a baby, they're changing. How common is this for a dad to feel like the baby blues?
Okay, so there's not nearly enough research on dads on paternal postpartum depression. But some people think it could be as often as 1 in 4, but most people kind of agree that it's 1 in 10. So about 1 in 10 men are at risk.
So let's say there's a daddy at home right now and his wife is pregnant or they just had a baby. Mm-hmm. What would be some of the things that he could be feeling right now that may be a sign that he has the baby blues?
Sure. Okay, and I'm going to use like total gender stereotypes, heteronormative, cisgender, but in general, what's typical? So typically men don't kind of show their depression the same way as women, even if it's not postpartum. Like they're not like, oh, I'm sad, because they're just not socialized that it's acceptable to show sadness. So a dad might look irritable, they might be angry, they might be a little bit more argumentative. Sometimes dads are escaping a little bit, like they might find excuses to stay late at work, they might play more video games, they may turn to a little bit more drugs and alcohol, so some kind of like escapism, some kind of irritation. So those are things that we see a little bit more often than just the sadness and the crying.
So what do you do? If you're a mama or you're a dada, then what do you do?
Well, the first thing is just start asking about it. Nobody asks about the dad. Even if you think back in the hospital when a baby's born, dads get like this hard little bench to sleep in. Nobody asks about them. They're just kind of like in the way.
Yeah.
And we don't think about them as being vulnerable. We think about the baby, a new mom being vulnerable, but we don't think about dads. So they're kind of in this catch-22 where they're supposed to be strong and supportive, and people say, just be there for the mom, just be there for the mom, and nobody stops to ask, well, how are you doing? This is a big change. You're not sleeping. And so that's another thing, is for a lot of partners, they're not getting a lot of sleep either.
Yeah, and speaking of that sleep, I think we've talked about it because we've talked about depression more and more.
Right.
It's becoming more and more of an issue that so many people are affected with, that it's pushing women into postpartum depression, that lack of sleep. So it makes sense for the men as well.
We know that sleep deprivation is literally torture.
Tell me about it. I told you what time we get up in the morning. Abby, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
They have the Health Alliance here. They have so many great resources. So if you want to get more information, we've put it up on our website for you. Just go to fox5sandiego.com. You click the little Scene On tab. It'll get you all the help you need. Okay, we'll send it back into you guys.
All right, it affects the whole family, Shelly. Thank you.